Hello, my name is Julie Burrows. Welcome to Meet the Community as part of Great Data Minds Women. Today I'm excited to have with me Sharon Yee, one of the most passionate and enthusiastic women that I have met. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, Julie. I'm glad to be here.
Yep, I'm so excited to be with you today. Our calls prior to this call have been so exciting, and I think every one of our calls we talked until the top of the hour, and then we're both like, we've got so much more to say. So I think we got most of that out of the way, and I wanted to go ahead and make sure that the community learned a little bit about you because you are one of the guiding lights in the industry in the Front Range. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to these days.
Oh, thank you, Julie. Well, start off, I'm a Colorado native. I was born and raised in the heart of Denver, and so I can't imagine being anywhere else. I have over 21 years of IT experience, and really, I thought I was actually going to be in healthcare when I was in college. I was studying for biology, and I serendipitously got into IT. Really, what happened was just joined a nonprofit back in my early 20s, and really loved what I was doing there. It was for children's health care insurance, and really having some kind people that really saw a lot of potential in me had decided, hey, have you ever thought of getting into data? And I said, hey, I'm interested in learning. And so from there, they created a role for me as a data analyst, and got myself involved with database and Microsoft Access, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And from there, just grew into SQL Server, and then jumped into government healthcare, child health policies, and then from there got into education and spent a good 10 years of my career in education, and that was exciting and learning a lot of great things. From there I got into NoSQL technologies such as MongoDB and Cassandra, and then now I'm here at the bank. I've been there for 5 years. I just celebrated 5 years, and it's been fantastic. It's been great.
Great. And the bank being FirstBank, I think
Yes.
it's okay for us to say that. So
yes,
great.
I'm so thankful to be working at FirstBank in so many ways. We're doing a lot of great, exciting things there today, and I'm excited about the future there.
We hear great things about FirstBank and the culture there, and you solidify it along with other members of your team that I've talked to. So from this point forward, what are some of your goals and aspirations? What do you think the road looks like for you?
Wow, that's a great question. I feel like with everything that's going on, especially with COVID and how that's really changed a lot of things. In fact, it's almost, I feel like, has expedited a lot of these key things that we need to be doing in not only within technology, but as in business and the way we operate in the world. And I'm just excited. I mean, there's so much going on. We're really looking, for me, particularly, I'm focused in automation and how do we streamline a lot of our processes here at the bank, and that has to do with a lot with data as well, right? We need data quality. We need people to understand the data to make great decisions around that. And so I'm just so excited to see what the next year and the years beyond bring.
It's kind of nice because finally data's cool, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so interesting, right? I feel like that's been in its of itself so bizarre, where people are just like, they're like data, like, we know it's important, but how do we keep that conversation going and people getting involved with it more than what it has ever been?
Yeah, it's an ongoing task, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Foundational and then ongoing. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, as you found very good employers, it sounds like, what are some of the redeeming qualities of, a good employer to you? What do you look for when looking for a job?
As getting into my career now, I think it really matters about the company and what they're about, what's their what's their vision, mission, objectives. I find that that's really important to me, that more than ever, in the fact that, I know what my values are, and it has to align to some degree with the values of that company, and knowing that they're a company that stands by what they say they're going to do, and helping their employees, supporting them, helping them grow, and knowing that it's not just only a culture fit, but it's also a culture add. And I think that's really key to finding the right company for yourself.
Cool. Innovation, I hear so many young women and young men both that are just frustrated over their firms not innovating, and they're wanting to improve their skill sets through innovation, but yet they get pushback. Is this something that's key to you, or?
Absolutely. I feel like innovation is so important in so many ways. And I find that sometimes we may think of innovation in a different way than maybe the company sees it. So even if you aren't thinking, oh, well, I haven't gotten in this new technology or this new tool that's out there that's everyone's just raving about, that's not really what it should only be. I mean, innovation could be as simple as improving a process. Think of it that way. And I find that in my role, I've been able to be somewhat of a change agent, and that's important, right? All of us can be this way. It's knowing that what's important, what you're seeing, and being persistent about it. Have those conversations, finding allies to help you along the way, and I think that's where you can find yourself innovating in that manner.
Great. Yeah, I know from talking to you and a couple others that you guys are doing the cloud, starting to engage with the cloud and moving on that journey. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, one
Yeah.
thing that you've always I've admired you for is the work that you're doing with the women's organization at FirstBank. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Tell the folks
Oh,
out there.
absolutely. So, yeah, Women in Technology is an employee resource group we have at FirstBank. We started that about 3 years ago. It's crazy to even say that because it's gone so fast. And really, a group of women that were just so passionate about um, getting more women into technology has been really the inspiring and motivating factor for us all. And so we've created great events. We also have a mentorship program that we kicked
Right.
off, and that's been it's been fantastic, and it's open to everyone in the company. It doesn't matter if you are in technology or you're working at the branch, and it's not about just getting people to get into technology, but even just having an opportunity to connect with others in the organization that you may not have, and really that's been so successful, and I'm so proud to be involved, and knowing that that is yet another great thing that FirstBank offers.
That's awesome. There's so many companies that don't have that and would really like to have it. So I'm so glad to hear that you guys are doing that type of work up there. Um, Tell me, as you think about mentoring, we always say mentor 360, mentoring up, mentoring down, but what's some advice that you could give young women as they're moving up through STEM, I guess we should say, and specifically around data? What's some advice you might leave with us?
Yeah, I really I feel like, for me, just even speaking from my own experience, is being open-minded. Be willing to try things that make you uncomfortable, right? And that's how you find yourself growing.
Love that.
If you are just comfortable and you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen next, you got to challenge yourself, right? Find those mentors, find those individuals that you aspire to be, and have them help you push yourself right out of your comfort zone, and you will find yourself growing incredibly, and you'll even find opportunities that you didn't even think you would even be interested or wanting to do, and that's the exciting thing, really. And I think I've even talked about with people that I have the opportunity to get to mentor and all that. It's really there's a book that I came across from one of my previous mentors. It's The Four Agreements. I don't know if
Okay.
you've heard of that one.
No.
It's by Don Miguel Ruiz, and I feel like those 4 agreements really has kept me grounded and focused. And if you don't mind, I don't mind sharing that right
No,
here.
please, please.
Yeah. So the first one is be impeccable with your word, right? Say what you're going to do and do it, right? That's so important. I think there's a lot of times where, we find people saying, oh, well, yeah, I'll do that, or I'll take care of this. And there's no follow-up or action to come back, backing that up. And that's hard. I mean, that helps build your credibility and people to be able to trust you. So that's really key. And then the second one is don't take anything personally. I had to remind myself that even now, there's times where I think I'm a sensitive person. So I go,
Yep.
why is that coming? What have I done? And it's like, I got to remind myself, don't take it personal. It's,
Such a female trait, in women to take things, to heart. So.
Right. So yeah, so absolutely don't ever take anything personal, and have those courageous conversations. Like if someone's coming at you in a way that you don't understand, be curious. Ask, like, I'd like to understand where that was coming from. How can I,
Great
maybe
advice.
talk about this? And I find that to be so valuable. I've learned a lot that way, rather than just coming, shutting down and building up that own story in my head. That doesn't help anybody. So I think that's definitely a good tip to consider there.
Great.
Yeah. And then the third is don't make assumptions. And I think even lately I've been saying assume positive intent, because everyone's so stressed, and you don't know their story, you don't know what's going on in their lives. So all we can do is share some kindness, right? And give ourselves grace, right? Don't assume anything that's that don't make those assumptions.
That's
and then
awesome.
yeah, and then last but not least is always do your best. Always do your best, right? And what does best mean, right? I think sometimes even as women, we tend to think that perfection is what we need to be striving for, and that's not it, right? You do your best and give yourself grace and celebrate those tiny victories. I think that's something that's really important to remember.
I love give yourself grace. In the old days when we had cubicles a couple of months ago, that would have been great to just print out and put right there and, be in front of you all the time. So, wow, thanks for sharing that. That was a bit of a surprise. I didn't know that was coming for this interview, and it was awesome. It was so great. So continue to do all your great work, aspiring women. And I just want to thank you so much for being a part of this. I feel like this isn't the last time we'll hear from you at Great Data Minds. Hopefully when we can get back to normal, we can actually feature you live and in person.
Oh, I'd love that.
I know. I'm so ready for those days. I don't know about you, but
I know it will come soon. It will come soon.
Yeah. And thank you for all your great advice and for joining us today. Okay.
Thank you, Julie. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor.
Take care.